Welcome, business owners. Today we are talking about 5 ways to save your business during this crisis, this time of crisis. If you're watching this video, just to let you know, this was recorded right around the time that we're all kind of on lockdown for coronavirus here in the state of Illinois and a few other states. We're still in the early stages of really figuring out how long this will last in our economy, how impactful it will be to the businesses that are out there. We know that there's a lot of small businesses that are already suffering from what has transpired thus far. The market continues to fall. A lot of people are losing confidence in the overall economy and losing jobs at the same time. So this resource in and of itself is specifically for business owners in regards to what you can do to help save your business. Definitely steps that you can take. Everything may or may not work for everybody, but keep the ideas out there, keep your spirits up, because as a leader in your business, everyone's looking to you for answers. So let's start with the first thing you can do. Change your leadership style. This is huge for a lot of business owners out there. We are often worried about the next transaction, worried about the next client, worried about keeping current clients. A lot of business owners are also their own marketing. They are the face of the company. They are the outreach of the company. The people that are in the company are just utilizing the resources to make it run day to day. The interaction is not always there. Sometimes we lose that one-on-one conversation with the employees that are supporting our business. Now is the time to go from a transactional leader to a transformational leader. A transformational leader invokes inspiration. The employees at this time needs to become very creative. A lot of them might be working from home. A lot of them, depending on what you provide, what your product or service is, they may have to come into the business. So you have to be in a space where you're encouraging them, that you care about their health, you care about their families, you care about what they are going through, you care about the survival of the company so that you can continue to pay them. And where it's not worth for people to come into the business, you also have to be able to communicate that in a way where people are hopeful at the end of the day. So now's the time to be that transformative leader where you are guiding people into the next stage of life. You are taking them to through uncharted territory. You're open to the fact that you know that there are a lot of people out here that work paycheck to paycheck. You completely understand that, and you're making the moves necessary to keep the business alive. You got to keep those lines of communication open. It's not as much about the clients right now as it is about the employees that are supporting your business, because if things were to dip in or pick up suddenly, you don't want to have alienated everyone that does work for you. So transformation is a great quote. Transformation literally means going beyond your form. So going beyond what you know right now, going beyond what's comfortable. You're already pushed into an uncomfortable space, but now you have to be that person for them, that they can knock on your door, they can give you a call, they can text message you. You either have employees in place to take those calls, or you have messages that are going out regularly from your HR department. It really depends on how big you are. If you're a small business and everybody has a connection with you currently, this may be a lot easier to manage. If you're a medium to large size business, this is where you'll need to allocate some of those resources and make sure that every employee is seeing that they are valuable at this time. Especially because some hard decisions may be coming up later, and we will get to that. Set new performance goals. So a lot of these performance goals that are set at the beginning of the year are based off of what you believe that role is supposed to be doing for the year. And this is how you are comparing and contrasting employees, hopefully. We know that there's a few businesses out there that don't do this very well. But here is the issue now. You're in an environment where first quarter has gone really bad. Second quarter, you're going to know from a headcount perspective what you can't afford. But you will be in a position where everyone that you want to keep, you need to keep them based off of what they're capable of doing for you and how many skill sets can span across that space. So if you're reducing headcount, the only way to do that is not to just pick and choose who you like, who you don't talk to, who you haven't seen in a while, but to really do that from a performance metric and one that makes sense. So it's time now to adjust those performance metrics, really talk to the management team, talk to people in regards to what else they can do in the business from home or other roles that they know within your business that they can do in the office if they have to be in the office or in the retail shop, depending on what type of business it is. You really want to focus on those people that are cross-trained, jack of all trades, can, have moved up through the company and been through several roles in the company, because that knowledge base in and of itself, say that you did get to a point, which some businesses will, so just being really realistic, where you got to lay off half your employees. If you're laying off half of your employees, you don't want all of your knowledge leaving, because the moment the economy starts to change and things start to pick up for you, you don't want to have 5, let's say you have 10 employees, you laid off 5. You don't want to keep 5 employees that only know one part of the business, because now you have to build back up. Even if the business is building back up, that money is not going to come in fast enough for you to automatically hire everybody back. You still have to pay people. You still have to, account for the overhead and the cost of bringing yourself back out of that debt cycle that is being created. And this is assuming that there's no other money out there. You didn't receive any other funds. We'll get to that in a little while, as well as far as things that you'll need to do in this process. But you definitely want to have performance goals that are set now that really speak to what you need in this current environment and give people a chance to step up to that need. If there's people raising their hand like, hey, I can do this job, that job, and this job, and kind of bring it all together, you want to pay attention to that and those type of people, because those will be the people that you need overall if you were to have to reduce headcount for a while. So a manager is responsible for the application, performance, and knowledge. This is key to understanding that people are going to do what you tell them to do. And if you don't give direction, they won't know which direction to go. And you cannot blame somebody for not stepping up and doing something that they were never told to do. So really put out there what your need is and let people step up to the plate and say, hey, I can do that, or I would like to do it. There's ways to position it and let people know that, hey, this is where we need help, or this is where we're transitioning to, who's interested. If people aren't interested, then you might have to start to pick and choose how to turn this into project-based material and allow people to advance their skill sets in that way. All right, number 3. Open up to your clients. Now's the time to really let clients know what you need from them. I saw something really great the other day from a local business here, City Winery. Because we are down on the number of people that can be in one space together, they're not able to do those large venue concerts that they were doing previously. However, they do have another product that they sell. That is wine in and of itself. They asked clients to help them out. Buy the wine so that we can keep our business going. The wine can be delivered to your door. This is the product that we're standing on today as of right now, because our other services cannot be used during this time. This is a great example of something that every business should be focusing on. If you have more than one product, and one of those products is something that really can be done online or shared or completed in a remote fashion and delivered to the client in an alternative way where there's no actual contact, stand on those products and let clients know that, hey, this is how we're surviving right now. Do you remember this? This is when we first started. If you don't have that type of product, think about where you possibly could create something very similar to that. Is there something that you could do with social media? Is there a way to sell to your clients remotely? Is there a way to offer services or portions of your services remotely? These are things that should come to mind now. This is where you have to get really creative with clients and communicate with them. Everybody's not going to be as bad off as everybody else. So by giving your clients this information, you might actually have people that enjoy your product, enjoy your service, have supported your company for a long time, and they may just make the effort to buy from you, to order from you, to get what they need from you. They might even give you ideas themselves in regards to like, well, hey, we were looking for XYZ, and do you have this, or will you be able to do it or offer it in the future? It could be something you did before. We have to go back to the very beginning of what it means to be a business owner. And some of that means diversifying what you offer. A lot of us have gotten to specialty places and we're good at what we do, and we don't really expand out of that. Now is the time. This is the push to think beyond the box and support your clients in every way that you can, but also bring in revenue. So think through that. Think how you want to communicate with clients, what you want to tell them to get them to continue to support you throughout this time. So the quote here: do not hire a man who does work for money, but him who does it for love of it. If you really have a client-based business that is face-to-face, people often are coming back because of the relationships they've built with you yourself as the business owner or the people that work for you. Keep that in mind, especially if you're in the restaurant business. People like the ambiance of restaurants. They like the people there that serve them. They like, the atmosphere that attracts people that are like them. Keep those things in mind when you're communicating with that community, bringing that to the forefront and not losing the culture that you've built with the clients, but offering to deliver food, or depending on what it is, if this can be packaged or not, things like that is where you want to focus currently. But keep the culture and the spirit. Continue to stay positive about it, because that positive message will likely continue to be shared. People will remember where they like to go. And even if it's something that if you have a business where it's like, there's absolutely nothing I can do in this particular from home or in my business, there's nothing else that I can do, there's no other service that I can offer, then still communicate. I'm still here. We're still waiting for this to clear. Remember us when it's time for your carpets to be cleaned, or if you're a cleaning business, whatever the case may be, because you can still have your company at the forefront of people's minds, where they're making those appointments right away once they have the clearance to do so. All right, number 4 is to leverage government assistance. The government is working on several ways to help small businesses. Don't let this pass you by. This may be how you survive the next quarter. Meaning that money may cover salaries to some extent. That money may cover overhead costs to some extent. Really take advantage of what the government will be doing. We don't know all of the details around that yet, but I do know that business owners are often so busy or so in their head or so trying to come up with ways to survive that they miss deadlines, they miss out on things that are actually great for their company that could have saved them a lot of time. Don't let that be you. Don't be that person. Sorry, you guys, just cut this off. Also, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Let people know you need additional time. My business also does small business loans for small and medium-sized businesses. What I've learned over time is that when people ask and have a reason for, hey, we got into this bind, we can't pay this, this is where we are, we're hoping to be out of it in 30 days, what can we do? When they bring that to the table, you'll be surprised how many lenders are like, okay, we'll give them a 60-day timeout. We will allow them to get the money together before going into default. There's a lot of negotiation tactics that can be done within the small business lending space, but you have to have people that represent you, and you have to have relationships with people. Let people know where you are and what you're going through so that they can prepare accordingly. They can help you address the situation accordingly. So this is another area that I really want you guys to be aware of. You actually have more power in this space than you think. Don't just go into default and think that, well, everybody else in the world is in default. What are they going to do? Because you probably just needed a phone call to let them know, like, hey, I am impacted by what's going on. I want to make sure that whatever you guys have over there that is helping businesses out, I need to be on that list. Get on those lists so that you're not in default. Last but not least is plan for the worst. Here's the thing. We don't know how bad it's going to get. We don't know how many quarters out of the year your business won't have money. We don't know what's next. We didn't even see this coming in a lot of ways. So with that being said, it's still not too late to plan. If you didn't have a pandemic plan before, you should at least have a draft as of right now, which is outlining exactly what you have staff doing, what you've done thus far. And if anything, you should have something that gives you a long-term understanding of how this looks for you. This is key to surviving in the future, to surviving through the rest of this. Because if you don't have a plan, you're pretty much going to get hit with any and everything that comes. At least if you have a plan, you know your worst case scenario, you know what you're capable of, you know what you're not capable of. Everybody in the company knows that. And you can start to work accordingly. You can start to work yourself out of certain situations. Like, how do we avoid this? How do we avoid having every employee unavailable? All of those things should be documented. Any and everything should be documented. I actually do have a great pandemic template for small businesses that is, I think, useful when writing out what you need overall. It gives you that high level piece. If you are looking for something like that in order to get yourself started, feel free to reach out to us through our website, www.mccoyconsultingusa.com. And we can connect you with our template so that you are on your way with at least having a start to a guide for a pandemic plan. But if one was not in place, now's the time to put it in place. Have that done, have it written down. If one was in place, now's the time to update it, because you've probably hit every single worst case scenario on what you had in place. And now it's time to think past that and think above it and document what you've done thus far so that it matches in the future. So if you got a plan, it's not just like a pipe dream. You have a step-by-step list of things to do to get to your goal. It's a great quote and it's so true. You need that list in order to get to the goal. The goal here is all about staying safe as the owners, managers, leaders, keeping your employees safe, and planning for the future, planning for the worst case scenario. Continue to communicate internally and externally as much as possible. Stay positive, focus on transformational leadership, because transactional leadership is really falling by the wayside in this atypical situation. People are really going to be looking for guidance on what's next, and that really should come from the leaders in the company. So thank you for joining and hearing the 5 ways to save your business. We definitely have some other videos that are pending that we will be posting as well to hopefully help out business owners think through some of the things that could be helpful during this time. Again, feel free to go to our website, www.mccoyconsultingusa.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. We have different articles that post every single week. with tips on what to do, things that can help you. For those of you that are members of our Patreon page, and those of you that are not on Patreon, you also, not only do you get those same articles, but you get a little bit more information, including templates and things of that nature to help run your business. If depending on what your membership is today, you also can get 30 minutes with me, which will be upping that to monthly. Right now, I believe it's quarterly, but because so many people need help, we are opening up the schedule to have 30 minutes FaceTime with me to discuss your specific business need and figure out together how to get you to the next level and get you through this and any other situation that you may have. So it was nice talking to you guys today. Thank you again. Feel free to follow all of that stuff I just said. I'm Dr. Amera McCoy. I am a business psychologist, and I am here to help you.